Before Texas Rio Grande Valley kicks off this season, the last time we saw a Division I program start from scratch was Kennesaw State in 2015. It has been over a decade, but come next year, Chicago State will become the newest Division I football program in the nation. While they don't have a practice field yet, stadium, or any players on their roster, they still plan to kick off next year and just named their first head coach in program history earlier this month. Can they take advantage of the Chicago recruiting grounds and build something special? Only time will tell. This is the story of Division I's newest football program, Chicago State. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know which school you want to see add a football program in the comment section below. Chicago State would announce their intentions to raise $4 million to expand their sports ventures, which included adding a Division I football team just a few years ago. The school retained Renaissance Search and Consulting to lead the search, with the timeline to make a hire this past spring. When they began their search for the school's first ever head coach, Athletic Director Dr. Monique Carroll explained, "We're excited to reach this milestone in our football planning. Hiring a coach will give the program a face and bring us one step closer to D1 football on the South Side. Our ideal candidate is a leader who understands what it takes to build a program from scratch." According to the Journal Star, the school opened in 1867 and is a predominantly black institution. It is located in the south side of Chicago and had over 16 different sports programs that included more than 160 athletes. The school hoped adding football would help them expand their reach and increase their student body. Back in January of 2023, they put together an exploratory committee to look into the impact of adding football and provide recommendations to the school's president. They had already done a feasibility study in 2021 that led to the start of the new exploratory committee in 2023. Along with football, the school also planned on launching a women's triathlon program. Chicago State hoped the football program would increase enrollment and help the school move away from being a commuter school. They also wanted to keep Chicago athletes close to home, explaining, "The number of kids that play in this city that have to leave because it's not an option is a lot, especially in today's climate. With the transfer portal, when kids want to get closer to home, now they'd have an option to play Division I football at home." They were also hoping that adding football would entice conferences into inviting them as full members. As of 2023, the school was independent in 10 of its 15 sports, including basketball at the time, which is now in the NEC. In 2023, 3 sports played in the Ohio Valley Conference, while 2 sports played in the Footballless Horizon League. Carroll said the school can't afford to be a football independent, so hope that adding football will open more FCS conference doors. The OVC and Missouri Valley Football Conference overlap in the region, so does the non-scholarship Pioneer Football League, but Chicago State will be a scholarship team. The original timeline had them launching the football program in 2025, along with Texas Rio Grande Valley, but they will instead begin in 2026. The Athletics' Chris Vanini wrote in September of 2023, "Carroll said the school, with its 161 acres, isn't limited by land in a city. It already has space for locker rooms and a field for practice, and it can rent space from high-end high schools if needed. Location for home games hasn't been determined, but possibilities range from Soldier Field to SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview to local high schools." Carroll explained, "It's not about the hype, it's about doing the right thing and tying it back to the university's strategic plan. It makes a lot of sense." In the fall of 2024, the school would join the Northeast Conference as its 9th full member, so they are expected to start playing football in the conference. Football member schools include Central Connecticut, Duquesne, Robert Morris, LIU, St. Francis, Wagner, Mercyhurst, and Stonehill. Though after their amazing run to March Madness, St. Francis announced they were dropping down to the Division III level. They will become the 8th Division I football team in the state of Illinois that features Illinois, Northwestern, and Northern Illinois competing in the NCAA Division I Football Bowl subdivision, while Illinois State, Southern Illinois, Western Illinois, and Eastern Illinois are NCAA Division I FCS programs. Carroll knew they would need to hire a coach who could build the program from the ground up, would be okay with a basic office rather than the glitz and glam of Division I football. The last Illinois university to begin a college football program was Southern Illinois, all the way back in 1904. This means that Chicago State has a chance to begin its football history with a blank canvas. Carroll wants a coach that reflects the line of thinking. Carroll told Fox 32 Chicago, "We're looking for someone that could come in with a vision where there really is a blank canvas. Everyone says they like it to transform and create things. That's one of my superpowers. So I'm looking for someone with the same superpower that really could come in and see a vision." While the school had not announced where they were playing yet, they did have their preferences of where that could be. though a lot of venues aren't booking dates for a stadium as of February for the 2026 season yet. She explained, "I would prefer to play at Gately Stadium. We have our eyes on Gately, but we know there are some things we need to work through to get that to happen." Gately Stadium is one of Chicago's public school stadiums, which falls under the 7 historic municipal stadiums across the city of Chicago to serve many Chicago Public League events. It was built in 1955 and was named after James H. Gately, who was a longtime businessman in Roseland and was the president of the Chicago Park District Board of Commissioners. The stadium is about a mile and a half from the heart of Chicago State's campus, has a capacity of about 35,000 seats. Carroll also wants the program to utilize the transfer portal, NIL, and modern-day college athletic resources where athletes feel like they're playing for the city of Chicago and their home. Earlier this month, Chicago State named Bobby Rome II as the school's first ever head coach in program history, choosing him over 200 other candidates. Rome is a 38-year-old head coach who is originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Rome played quarterback at North Carolina, where he shared a quarterback room with now Chicago Bears head football coach Ben Johnson. He would be mentored by former Bears running back coach and interim offensive coordinator Chris Beatty. While at North Carolina, Rome would transition into an H-back role where he would become a starter for the Tar Heels. His coaching career has been even crazier. Chicago Times' Steve Greenberg explained on April 9th that it started as Far Eastern Federal University in Vladivostok, Russia, which is so mind-numbing far from Moscow. It takes roughly 9 hours to fly there directly and is, who knew, eastern terminus of the Trans-Siberian Railway. As the crow flies, it's less than 20 miles to the Chinese border, and only a bit farther than that to the North Korean border. Thereafter playing professionally in Moscow, Rome inherited a group of students who wanted to play football and had convinced the school's administration to give it a shot. It took a while to put together a team, but eventually the Wild Pandas, coached by a 20-something American with an interpreter at his side, took the field. Rome didn't expect much out of this opportunity, explaining, "I didn't think I could turn this thing into a career, but I caught the bug." In 2018, Rome took over at Virginia University of Lynchburg, which is an HBCU in the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association. At the time, the Dragons were on a 44-game losing streak and had been outscored 428-28 in 2017. At Rome's first team meeting in the non-scholarship-based program, there were, he estimated, well under 20 players in attendance. He built the roster to over 100 and won a handful of games, finishing with a 3-16 record as head coach in 2 seasons. He loved turning the program from a disaster into his own thing. In 2019, he was named the head coach at Division II Central State, which is an HBCU school in Ohio. His first season would be canceled due to the events of 2020. They would finish his lone season 1-9 before Rome was named the head coach at Florida Memorial, which is an HBCU that plays at the NAIA level. In Rome's second game, the Lions lost 86-0 to Southern. He implored his players to not give up. 2 weeks later, they won a game. Over the following 2 seasons, they won 12 more. He finished his career at Florida Memorial with a 15-15-1 record, going 6-4 in his second season and 6-4-1 in his third season. Now he will look to build up Chicago State from the ground up. At the time of recording, they have no players on the roster, and Rome will have his work cut out for him. Their focus is recruiting the Chicago area, being heavily involved in the community. Can they find success, and will they be able to kick off in 2026? Only time will tell. What do you think? Can Chicago State turn into a special FCS program? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.